Christian baker fined for refusing to make cake for trans woman. In Colorado, on June 15th, Judge A. Bruce Jones of the Denver District Court said that the refusal to bake a custom birthday cake for a transgender person violates the Colorado Anti-Discrimination Act, or CADA. Autumn Scardina had requested a birthday cake to celebrate her gender transition on her birthday. Phillips, the baker, was fined $500, the maximum fine for a violation of the CADA. Even though the baker had already agreed to take Autumn's order, he refused to bake the cake due to his religious beliefs once he learned what the occasion was. During his 2018 Supreme Court case, Phillips argued for his First Amendment rights for religious freedom. However, in this case, Judge Jones said that baking and decorating a cake in the style requested by a customer is not a form of compelled speech.
Yeah, this is such an obvious cake. Okay, cake. It is an obvious cake, but it's also an obvious case. This is such an obvious case because, you know, there is a debate about, like, let's say, for example, if somebody said, make me a cake and also write on it, you know, trans rights for the win or something like that, okay? Then there could be an argument that you're not being discriminated against. You're trying to force this person to make a statement that he doesn't believe in, and he doesn't have to make a statement that he doesn't believe in. But that's not what's happening. He's discriminating against you for being trans. Your cake is just a simple. I mean, guys, I don't know.
Well, here's what it is. According to court documents, Phillips denied the cake only after learning what the colors symbolized, even though they had already agreed to bake a cake with a pink cake with blue frosting. So it's blue on the outside, pink on the inside. He was like, cool. And then he learned that it's like symbolizes like, I'm a woman on the inside. And he was like, not cool.
Okay, so like you're like, colors are forced speech now. Like colors are forced speech. Like this is basically denying cake to somebody because they're trans. This person should be protected based on the currently existing anti-discrimination laws, right? I think the fine is justified. Am I wrong, Rivka?
No, I think that your point that you were making about writing it is this baker from Masterpiece Cakes won the Supreme Court case on, because he was talking about it was compelled speech, and his counsel said that, you know, they're targeting activists like him, they say, because they won't promote messages on marriage equality or sexuality. So a message, yes, symbolically you could have a message, but speech, message, writing it, that was the narrowness of that view. But because there's no writing on it, and because it could actually be argued that maybe it doesn't mean that, maybe you have twins that were both born on the same day, a boy and a girl, and you want a cake that's for both of them. Honestly, it's true. There's no arguing about what the message is if you say, you know, trans rights for the win, or, you know, happy marriage, Bill and Jack, you know. So yeah, I think that's the narrow finding. That's exactly what the judge found.
Guys, go make every single color combination to be something LGBT related. So this man can't make any cake that has any two colors together, because they all symbolize some sort of some group.
He slowly becomes terrified of like color combinations, because he's like, is this gay? This could be gay too. like he's totally gaslit.
Make him just make gray and black cakes. That's all he's gonna be. The gray and black cake shop.
No, someone makes a rainbow cake because it symbolizes Noah's Ark, and he's like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. Wait, can I not? Yeah, can I, like, if I go to this guy, I'm like, I'm celebrating Noah for make me a rainbow cake. Is he gonna make it or
And
no?
all the animals in the ark are gay.
You don't even have to tell him that you're celebrating Noah.
Right.
You want a rainbow cake with
Mhm.
rainbow frosting, and when he refuses to make it because he thinks it's a gay cake, you could say, no, it's a Noah cake.
Yeah, it's a Noah cake. Oh my god. This is
What do you
getting so
have
ridiculous.
against biblical teachings, sir?
Yeah. Wait, there was somebody that just said something I wanted to highlight. I forgot. I'll read this one, but I'm gonna find the other one.
Secular Rarity is saying it's gotta be a really weird life to live, being so insecure that baking an effing cake makes you this butthurt.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I can see why it would be, even if it's like ridiculous. Like if I go to a Christian and say, make a cake that says on it, God is fake, right? I can see that if he wants to refuse that, I think he should be able to refuse that, okay? Just like if you have an atheist baker and a church goes to atheist baker and says, you know, make a cake that says Jesus is Lord, and the atheist is like, you know what, I don't want to make a cake like that, right? I think it's justified for the atheist baker to be like, yeah, I don't want to make a cake that says on it, you know, Jesus is Lord. But that should be allowed. That refusal of making that cake should be allowed, okay? But if the atheist baker says, if they say like, oh, just make us a cake, it's not, you know, for our church, and the atheist says like, I'm not going to make you a cake because I don't make cake for Christians, I think that should not be allowed, okay? That is, you know, so if you're saying I'm not baking a cake because you're Christian, that shouldn't be allowed. If it says I'm not, or, you know, you could even say like, you know what, I'm going to make a cake, you could write on it that Jesus is Lord yourself. I'm not just doing the Jesus Lord. I think that's justified as well, right? So there's a difference. I think this Christian person, if you ask him to write a message on a cake that is something he disagrees with, that's not discrimination. He should be able to refuse that. But if it's denying you a service based on your identity, that's discrimination. You go, Susan.
What's interesting is that this trans woman is actually a devout Christian herself. So in an interview, she was talking about how she understands his position and the nuance of what he has to go through, blah, 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 which I thought was like BS, but just an interesting little twist.
That is very interesting to, you know, a twist to this. But I wanted to say about what you were saying, Armin, is exactly what the case in the Supreme Court he won, and now he's lost this other one for that exact reason. Now, this one wasn't at the Supreme Court. But the other thing I wanted to say is people already refuse all kinds of things on cakes, in the sense that, because I've worked at a lot of grocery stores that have bakeries, and you can't, you know, they won't write swear words often, or what they consider to be obscene messages. So there is that level to some degree already, in the sense of that. So yeah.
By the way, I also think it's fair to investigate if somebody is using the excuse of this is forced speech as a way to discriminate against somebody. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes people are saying that this is forced speech, but their actual motivation is like, I hate you. You know what I mean? So I think like I do understand that, but laws cannot just be based on reading people's minds and all, right? Or laws are based on what you can demonstrate, right? So if people, and also I see in the live chat a lot of people are confusing what the law can do and what's morally justifiable. Like people, you know, I support this fine, but I don't support this fine because this is a bigot. I support this fine because this is against the law. Like you could demonstrate that this is against the law. Like you shouldn't be like, oh yeah, he deserves it, so you should fine him. Sometimes some people shouldn't be fined even if they deserve it, because it's just not, what they're doing is not illegal, right? I support this fine is because it could be like you cannot be like, oh yeah, blue and pink cake, it's a forced speech. No, like at some point you're like, No, you're just discriminating against this person. You just
No,
not
and
for
it's so
speech.
clear that he was, because he was fine with that exact cake until he learned what it meant.
Which is exactly what
Right.
the judge is saying when he's saying, because like I said, it's reasonable that it could have not meant that. It did, but he doesn't know. It's just a cake. And then when he investigates it, it becomes not for speech, but an I hate you, which is exactly what Armin was saying. Because there is no message that he is compelled to write.
Right.
And also the fact that he didn't know what it was about, had no idea, and it was okay. And then, so yeah, I think that's what the judge is saying. And that also you can't necessarily call colors that symbolize something an actual message. Okay. I mean, you're just getting in the weeds at that point. Message means words, sentence.
Yeah, an actual statement. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay, so we support the fine.
Also sounds like a very creative cake.
Yeah, actually, oh wait, I forgot to mention, I actually reject the idea of a cake as a whole. Okay, unless this person is using artificial sweeteners and all.
Oh my god.
So do not eat cakes, guys. Try to learn on finding ways to celebrate something with healthier options. Okay, why have we made this a norm that celebration of things requires poisoning ourselves? Like, why is this a thing with alcohol and sugar? Like, is this why are we doing this? This is like, stop. Like, is it, people get together and they want to celebrate things and like, oh yeah, let's just damage our bodies as in celebration of something great. There must be alternative ways for us to celebrate things other than sugar and alcohol. Okay.
Armin wants some good, clean, sober fun.
I want to disagree vehemently with Armin. I don't think you should overindulge, moderation and everything, but you only live once. So
no, I completely
eat the cake.
You completely misunderstood. You completely misunderstood what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying.
Well, let me respond. Rivka, please let me respond. I completely agree that to maintain a healthy life, you need to sometimes indulge in some of these things, because if your diet is too strict, you're gonna not be able to stick to it, right? You need to be able to eat cakes and donuts sometimes, right? I just think it's better to do that on a planned, eat your cake or drink alcohol according to your plan, rather than having that as a celebration, because then every celebration is going to be an excuse. Because I think cheating on your diet needs to be a planned cheat that helps you to stick to it, not something that, we're it's Christmas now, it's someone's birthday now, it's not a birthday now, this person just had a baby. Okay, you have so many excuses. This is not just having a cake sometimes here and there just to make sure that we enjoy life to the fullest. This is so many excuses, and it makes I want us to be able to celebrate more, not have more excuses for celebration. And if we fill our lives with so many celebrations, and if every single one of them is an excuse to just fill your mouth with sugar and alcohol, then that's not indulging in cake sometimes. That's just 25% of your life celebrating with sugar and alcohol. That's not healthy. No, but I completely agree that not being too strict with your diet sometimes. I'm not saying never eat a cake ever. No, that's a recipe for disaster. So thank you for letting me clear that up. But yeah, but there are better ways to celebrate. I'm just saying. Okay.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of Blasphemy and Sexy Callie, like me, then you need to be sure to subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below. Because if you subscribe, we will send you a free copy of our Blasphemous Art ebook. And let me tell you, it is the tastiest blasphemy that you can find anywhere available today. And we are so generous with our blasphemy that we continue to send you more blasphemy every week. So make sure to subscribe, link in the description below.